Hey everyone, this is just for Power Group private community members. Going to do an update. Jatinder and a few other people were asking about this. I want to just do an update on BTCC, how to navigate a few different things. This is going to be on the desktop version. Let me know if you want a mobile version. It should be fairly similar. You might just have to kind of spend a couple minutes just trying to locate things a little bit differently, but it should be fairly similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to hover over assets. We're going to click on just anywhere there. This will bring up the main asset overview screen. So as you can see, it separates it into Futures, Futures Pro. That's just a new beta version of Futures. You don't have to worry about that. Spot, and then wallets. So essentially, you can have some vouchers here too. Looks like I have one that I didn't even use yet. So I'm gonna, how do I do this? Confirm market order default, leverage one, select pair. I'll have to look into this later on. But yeah, supported pairs expires. C coupon, BTCC coupon. So I'll use that one later. You can check yours and see if you have a coupon. I'm just going to set myself a reminder to do that later, but that's a good thing that you can check as well. I'm going to look into that and see what we're working with here. But getting back to the video, so if you click on wallets, so this is if you want to do a crypto deposit. So I deposited a few different cryptos instead of sending the deposit via fiat. So if you just click on deposit as well, you can do fiat. In Canada, you have e-transfer. Visa, MasterCard as options. It's probably not going to work when you do Visa, MasterCard. I know it worked for Nick in the US, so if you're in the US, it might work for you doing Visa, MasterCard. But Jatinder did do an e-transfer here in Canada, and it showed up within about, I think it was like between 30 minutes and 60 minutes it showed up. So it's pretty fast, and sometimes it can be your bank, not necessarily BTCC's delay. Sometimes it can, like I sent my girlfriend an e-transfer one time the other day on RBC, and it took about 30 minutes to an hour to get there. So sometimes the bottleneck is on the bank side, not necessarily the BTCC side. So those are a few different ways to do the deposits. So again, if we go back to assets, we click on here. So what's going to happen is if you deposit crypto, right? If you want to deposit crypto, you're going to go to crypto deposit. You're going to select a crypto. So let's say XRP. You're going to do the XRP network, Ripple network, and then you're going to do the deposit address. You're going to copy this and the destination tag. You only need destination tags when it's an exchange. This is an exchange, so you need the tag. And then you would see that show up just like mine did. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go back here. So when you deposit crypto, it's going to show up in here. So if you deposited XRP, you can just hide zero balances and it'll show up after it's confirmed and after they receive it, or you can just search XRP and you can hit crypto deposit there, etc. You can withdraw it from the exchange, or you can convert it. So what you're going to do is you're going to convert it. So you're going to hit convert, and what you would do is you just flip this around, because essentially you're going to have your wallet, right? If we go back to assets here, just to explain the three different things. So wallet, this is when you're actually holding crypto. Spot, this is when you're not using futures and you're just trading the asset itself. Futures is just contracts, and some of them are based in different values. So XLM, for example, they do it on 1,000 futures. So the increments of 1,000, you can't do like 500. You have to do it in 1,000. And we can take a look at that in just a second. But essentially, spot is the spot market where you're actually trading the crypto. So you could do like, you know, a few XRP or whatever, right? And not just futures contracts. So futures contracts are just betting on the price, what the price will be at a certain time. So you're not actually trading the asset itself, right? So if we go to wallets and you deposit crypto in here, whether it's USDT, XRP, if you hide zero balances, you'll see it. If you just do the search for it, you'll see it. So XRP. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit convert, because you want to convert it into USDT so that you can trade with it. So what you would do is you would just hit XRP into USDT, and I don't have any at the moment. So you would just say how much you want to convert, and you get latest quote, and then you would select it, and then you would go back over here to you go back over here, and we'd hide zero amount, so you'd see USDT now in your spot account. Now what you can do is you can click on transfer here, and then you can see the options. So you have your wallet account. You can switch from there. So if you have your futures account, you can switch from there, and your spot account. So right now, this is how you're going to do everything. So if it's in your wallet account, just look to transfer from your wallet to the spot. If it's in your futures account, you can transfer back to spot or wallet account, etc. So you can just go through all different ones. So if you deposited via credit card or e-transfer, if we go over here to assets, it's probably going to be under futures automatically, I would think. So it should just be under your futures account here. It should just show up this way. But as long as you have the money in this futures section, so if you click on futures, hide zero balance, as long as USDT is showing up in your futures section, if it's not showing up under futures, then look at spot, hide zero balance, look there, look at wallets, and then just work on transferring it over to the futures section. And again, if we go over here to the futures and we click on trade, you'll see here that the lead trade that I have right now, the 20x, it's up. It was up about 23% there at one point. It was down 60%, but we didn't get liquidated, so we're looking good. And we're trying to nail this bottom here. But essentially, when you go over to the futures market, right, you can do market, and let's select XLM. So for an example, so if we bring up XLM, now again, you're not buying the actual asset, you're buying futures contracts, which are betting on the price later, right? And then you buy the asset then, essentially. So what you're looking at is this screen here. So this is your market order. You can do limit order, but we'll just do market for simplicity's sake. Now, if I put in 100 here, it says please enter a valid amount that is an integer multiple of 1,000. So when you do 1,000, you can see here that its margin, it's going to be about $21 USDT, 21 USD. And then you open long, you can go short if you think it's going to go down, essentially, right? And then if you want to close that position, you can just close the long or close the short. Here's your leverage. But again, if you're doing copy trading on me anyway, you're not going to have to worry about that. But I do want to kind of do a video on that or a quick blurb on that in just a moment. So this is just how I'm doing it. But then again, if you go over to XRP, you'll see how it's a little different. So if we do XRP USDT and wait for that to load, you can see that if we do market quantity 1, this one's in integers of 10. So these contracts are settled in 10. If you go to Bitcoin, I think it's 0.1. So if you go Bitcoin USDT, wait for it to load, quantity 1, 0.01, yeah, so it's in increments of 0.01. So if I do 0.01, it's going to say please use increments integer multiple of 0.01. So it's just basically, so you can't just do, you know, any random number, right? It wants you to pick whatever it is for that asset. And that's just for futures, right? Because you're not actually trading the asset. It's a contract. So that is that. And if we go over here to copy trading, click on futures copy trading. And then if you haven't already searched, you can just go to POW, search POW. It'll come up here like this, click on it, and you'll hit copy now. Or if you go back to where that would have showed my POW, there should be all lead traders. You should be able to go there as well. Click on POW there under all lead traders, and then it should say copy here. So when you hit copy, what you want to do is be very, very careful. So what I recommend doing, instead of doing fixed margin, if you're going to do fixed margin, I'd say just do $50. You couldn't do $100. It's up to you, but I recommend doing 50. Or you can just do proportional, which I recommend. This is probably the best bet. Just do 1. So essentially, you're going to do what I do, and then set your max. If you don't want to do more than 100, you can do that. Let's say I do 200. It will do proportional, but no more than 100, right? So if you have this set at 200 and I do 200, it'll do 200. If you have this set at 1 and 200 and I do 50, it'll do 50, right? And then make sure you copy auto update, and then you can just turn that off if you want. This is old trades, you don't have to do that. And then I recommend just setting the stop loss and take profit at 0. Just follow me and do what I do. So hopefully that makes sense. If there's any other questions, please let me know. And like I said, I'll probably do a public one soon. There's a few things that I'm still sorting out on the back end with BTCC. So just trying to get that sorted, and then I'll probably make this video either public or do another one for the public. Let me know if you need any further clarification, or if there's any other things that you'd like to see a video on. Like I said, it's a little busy, it's a little daunting, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to use. And quite frankly, most of the platforms are like this. So when you get into leverage, you get into futures contracts, it gets a little convoluted, but yeah, it's a good learning opportunity. And like I said, I can do a mobile version if you'd like as well, but it's pretty much the same, just have to kind of look for it in a little bit of a different spot. All right, have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.